cesarean mothers, after what time of surgery they can use the BioLite and for how long they should take, and also the pregnant women's C-section mothers gynecological cycle is starting, so can they take within the gynecological cycling, all those things?
Thank you. Right, normally the manufacturer will tell you don't use if you're pregnant. So normally we tell people if you know the person is pregnant, don't use. Why? Why? The reason very simple. If the baby is good, they'll say thank you. If something goes wrong with the baby, it's not because of this. This will never cause the baby to have some other complication. But because of some other complication, the baby has a problem, they are going to blame you.
Yes.
Why do you need that trouble? No. But you can advise them, look, this is what is going to happen. It is your responsibility if you take or you don't take.
After C-section,
No, I'm talking about pregnancy. Yeah? So I've seen some people who understand this, when they take, the baby, they say, is kicking harder than before. Because now the energy is also going to the baby. The growth is good, alright? So it's kicking harder. They can feel that this is more active. Okay, that is about pregnancy. Now about the C-section, cesarean, okay? Now the most important thing is, because for cesarean, you are going to sew up. After the cesarean, it's going to be sewn up. Once it is sewn, there will be some bleeding involved. So this bleeding has got to stop. Why? Because this helps in everything, including bleeding, it will bleed more. Because now everything is moving well, so the bleeding will become more. So we wait until that part has joined together properly. Completely. And then there's no bleeding, you can start. And you'll find that your recovery is much faster. Okay? Alright.
Okay, one person is having
Yes.
stent in their body, they can take BioLite session?
Sorry?
If a person had a stent.
Okay. Now the stent issue is another thing where normally the...
Dialysis में
Sorry?
BioLite देते हैं।
Yes, implant. Okay, so now what will happen is the manufacturer tells you don't use. Because why? They want to protect themselves. Because now the stents, there are many kinds of stents. If I ask a person who has a stent, do you know what kind of stent you have inside? They cannot tell you, because different kinds of stents depending on how much you are willing to pay and how much your medical card has. Right? So the doctor does. But at the same time, now with recent technology, there are stents which they use titanium and Kevlar. Right? Kevlar, titanium, especially titanium, they dissipate heat very fast. So the issue was heat. When there is heat, because anything metal which has heat will be hot. So that area is going to be hot for you. You will feel inside. Secondly, it might expand beyond the limits given. So they tell you don't use. But there are people who know what they have inside, especially if they have titanium, and because titanium dissipates heat fast, so they are using with success. Alright? So for the stent. And then if you look at the present stents, you will see it's like a netting, no more the solid piece, it's a netting. And this netting can expand and collapse. So it can follow the size of the blood vessel. And at the edge, formerly they didn't have this like hooks, so it can move if you're not careful. Now they have hooks on this side, they have hook on this side which plugs into the wall, it doesn't move. So the safety features are there. So if you know, it's quite safe, but don't give too much heat. That's the issue. Alright?
Can you use BioLite for metal implants?
BioLite and all that you can, because generally the heat is spread over the whole body. So it's not focused on that area. The issue is when you use the blower, you're focusing on that area. That is the biggest issue. Alright? Having said that, I'll share with you something. I have a friend. I'm saying I have a friend because he's still alive. If I say I had, he's gone. I have him still because of this terahertz blower. Why? I introduced him to this in around 2021. Towards the end of 2022-23, early 2022 end, there was about 3 to 6 months he suddenly disappeared from the radar. No sign of him, no calls, no messages. When you call him, he doesn't answer. So we were wondering what happened. Then I got to know from somebody that he had a shock of his life because he went with his daughter to one mall for something else. They had this health screening. So he went and checked himself. He had a big block, about 80% or more. So he was like stunned. So anyway, he went and did that and he kept quiet. So then I dropped into his house and then I told him, I asked him what was wrong. Then he explained to me, he told me this thing happened. And then he asked me the important question, why when I was drinking this water, I still have a block? Right? Does that make sense? So when you look at it, the block, does it come overnight? No. It takes years to gather there, collect there, and you have not been doing something which is you are supposed to be doing, and that has happened. But in between, what he was doing was, he was playing badminton until 3-5 sets, changing t-shirt because sweating, coming back, and then he can still go out and with friends and whoever drink, and then he was doing all kinds of things, moving as a